Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be breaking a cone on the brake here. It's a kind of a funky cone. It's a squared around transition with a very odd angle, but I'll show you what I do to make this happen. Say fab it all.
Hello. Let's go.
So I got it divided up here in every 4 inches. Got it divided up, and then it goes to that center point down there. Create a transition. Got it held up here with the spoons, and we'll get braking. I got the brake all set up, ready to go. Oh, I got to put my number in. So the way our brake is set up is we have this PLC control that controls the position of the rams, and we control upset points, downset points. It's a little different than how this was originally set up. Originally it was set up with springs, and it measured tension on the pressure, so it equalized the pressure across the die. So we have it set up now, it's positioned. It's kind of nice. It took a while to set up because we had to learn about pumps and valves and how they worked with the PLC and everything, but it runs pretty good now. I can modify offsets and account for any kind of imbalance. And then we have auto returns, so when I come down, when I let go, it just goes straight back up. I have tape across here because sometimes it's annoying to push the safety button. That was a stupid thing set up earlier. And then what I do that's different is I go to that number. I have a fixed number I go to. So I got this first brake set up, and I've got my number set, although I'm going to change my up point, so I'm not having to go clear up there every time. I'll come down and I'll reset it. Okay, and then we do a brake. It's not much of a brake. Nope, I'm gonna... One thing, when it's cold, it's really cold here this morning. It's not bad in the shop, but one thing, when it's cold, you have to kind of work the hydraulics a little bit, just get the oil flowing. But it actually looks good. The PLC has a thing to where it watches it come down, and it adjusts it, so it maintains that proper alignment the whole way down. That's why it slows down. Then I go to 8.895. We played with different things. We found that going down slow and then just pushing into that number was a better option. But as you can see, it's not much of a brake. But that's all it takes. The trick is on these squared arounds is making sure that this point is always hit. It gets a little tough when I flip it around because it hits the die. I wish I had a knife die, which I do, but I hate changing the die. It's not a big deal, and I'll show you how I fix that later. Gloves. Hitting these points are not as critical, just more for consistency, but hitting it at the same point here is crucial to make a nice bend. And it's just a lot of manhandling. Of course, it's easier with two people, but here we are. I have this set halfway, so when I put it on here, that mark should be halfway. Then I have this radius gauge, and it actually goes like this. I'm over braking just a little bit, which is what I want. I would rather over brake it a little bit because it's easier to flare that out than it is to push the center in. Ah, you sucker. Okay, now that it's broke, the hard part is getting it out of the brake without it slipping. So what I do, I use the brake and the hoist okay. So this is the tricky part. I don't want it to flip. Okay. So one thing I end up with, this is supposed to be a 90 degree, but because of the die and just because it all converges here, it doesn't bend fully to a 90. So I've got to put it in the end of the die and pull that up as much as I can. And then you can also see this curve here. That's kind of part of the problem, and it's not as bad. Well, I think it's worse over here. So I gotta re-rig it and put it in the end. nice.
Roll. Awesome. Make that's like. Oh yes. Come on in, have me and so.